In 2022, China manufactured 80% of the world's supply of solar panels. 95% of solar panels rely upon solar-grade polysilicon. 45% of the world's solar-grade polysilicon is made in the Uyghur region of China. All 4 of the Uyghur region's polysilicon manufacturers are implicated in Uyghur forced labor. The 4 largest solar panel suppliers in the world get their polysilicon from at least one of those manufacturers. The consumer of grid-supplied electricity has no power to demand that solar farm panels are not manufactured by slave labor, and there is a strong chance that they are. On the other hand, as a purchaser of solar panels for your roof, you can demand to know who manufactured your panels and where they sourced their polysilicon from. Consumers will likely pay a premium for an ethical supply chain, but for many people, that is a small price to pay. It has been common practice for solar or onshore wind developers to offer to pay for activities or buildings for the affected community to sweeten a planning application. That is known as a community benefit fund. The practice is still going on. In 2019, the UK Supreme Court ruled on a community benefit fund. The fund was proposed by a wind farm developer in the Forest of Dean. The court stated that the fund was, and I quote here, a general inducement to the council to grant planning permission, and constituted a method of seeking to buy the permission sought, in breach of the principle that planning permission cannot be bought or sold. End of quote. In layman's terms, it was a bribe. Though the practice has not been outlawed, the court did say that such a fund cannot be a planning consideration. That poses an ethical dilemma for local planning authorities. How can a councillor prove that their vote was not swayed by cash? Consider also that agricultural land is exempt from business rates. If that farmland becomes a solar farm, then the landowner and operator would have to start paying those rates. That revenue will eventually find its way to the council. With solar roofs, businesses no longer pay increased business rates on solar generation equipment. To the outsider, it may look as though the local planning authority might approve a solar farm development simply because it would increase their revenues. Solar roofs pose no such thorny dilemmas for politicians. Given the problems that solar farms face with slave labor in their supply chain, and with deal sweeteners in the form of community benefit funds, there can be no other conclusion. Between the 2 types of solar power, solar roofs are seen to be, and are, the ethical choice. To sum up, we have looked at the threat to our food supply that solar farms can pose by taking up and possibly ruining land needed for agriculture in the UK. Imports may not be able to fill the gap. The countries we import food from face the same climate change and land use pressures. Also, you saw that distributed generation of electricity helps make the country's supply of power more resilient, and roof panels can change people's behaviors by making them more aware of their consumption of energy. Roof panels offer greater certainty over future electricity costs. Finally, consumer and business users of electricity have more freedom to make their own ethical choices when they decide what panels to use from which areas of the world. That's the power to choose, the power you use. For more information, please see the Solar Campaign Alliance's website.